السلام عليكم. أسعد مساكم جميعا. Welcome to our workshop, which is going to be about planning, structure, and organization. Basically, how to write an academic essay. This is the first workshop in our third series, which is about different types of essays, academic essays. So we will begin, inshallah, by introducing how to plan and structure and also organize different types of essays. Then, inshallah, next week we will start by having another or different workshops about argumentative essays and different types of essays. Okay, Mr. Yahya, the floor is yours. You may start right now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bassem, and welcome everyone. As Dr. Bassem said, that this is the first series of our academic essay writing workshops. And I hope by the end of this workshop, you all will learn how to write a well-organized academic essay and learn some of the technical issues that most students normally face and some of the difficulties that might affect your overall academic essay writing. Okay, so let's start by our main objectives. So by the end of this workshop, you will be able to learn what is an academic essay. So you will learn a definition of academic essay and what it means, what it is all about. Second, you will learn how to plan for an academic essay. Third, you will learn what are the main standard structures of academic essays. Also, how to organize an academic essay. And finally, you will learn what are the main standards for writing a good academic essay. So let's start with our first slide, which is about academic essay. What is it all about? So this is a very simple definition. It is an organized piece of academic writing about a given topic. Okay, so the word organized here is very important. That's why I highlighted this word in blue, just to make sure that you know exactly that this is a very important part when you write an academic essay. And we will see how this takes place in your writing. Also, it is about one given topic. So when you write an essay, it should only focus on one main topic. So this topic could be an explanation or a discussion or evaluation of some key points or key ideas. So there are lots of types of academic essays that you might write about. And here we will just take an overview of how to construct an academic writing. And later on, you will join other workshops that will help you learn how to write different kinds of academic essays. For example, a descriptive essay, a discursive essay, argumentative essay, and narrative essays. So these ideas are highlighted in an introductory paragraph. So the first thing that you have to do is to write your introduction and highlight these ideas that you are going to develop in the rest of your essay. And each of those ideas are then discussed and developed in a single paragraph. So each of them will be developed in one paragraph, and the number of paragraphs that you are going to include in your academic essay depends on the number of ideas that you are going to include. And finally, you will end up your essay with a short conclusion to just restate and summarize your main ideas and the argument that you have carried on. Okay, so this is just an overview of how an academic essay looks like. And we will go over each of those steps in details. So here, how to start writing an academic essay. So the first point that you have to always make sure to include is to plan for your academic writing. So this planning is very important, okay? And it's the first step towards an organized and successful academic writing. And as you know, that planning is very important in all our daily life things that we are planning to do in order to make it successful, and you can achieve the best of all your things that you are planning to do. So here, planning is very important. So here I always tell my students that before you start writing, don't jump into an empty pool. And this picture shows how the situation looks like. So when you just try to start your writing without even planning or thinking about what you are going to include in your academic writing, it's the same as jumping in an empty pool. You will feel yourself during your writing that you are lost. There are no much ideas to write about. Sometimes you also might think that you don't know what to include and how to move on your academic writing. So first of all, we all have to learn how to plan for our academic writing as our first step. Okay, so how do we plan for our academic writing? The first thing and most important is to brainstorm some ideas and information. So how do we normally brainstorm for ideas? The first thing is to think about ideas that you already know about the topic. So we just try to add any information that comes to your thought, okay, once you think of your topic. Just write it down in very simple keywords and phrases, okay, and try to organize these thoughts and ideas in an outline format. And we will see in the following slides how to create an outline format to organize your ideas and thoughts. Also, try to ask yourself this question: what other information do I need to add? Once you have jotted down your ideas and thoughts that you already know, try to think about this question: what other information do I need to add? So, in order to answer this question, you will have to find further information and details from authentic resources. Try to choose resources that tells you exactly real information, okay? And these can be found in scientific journals, in books, and sometimes periodical articles. And this depends on what you are going to write about. If this is a scientific paper or a research paper, I encourage you to find out scientific journals, books, and periodical articles. These will give you true and accurate information that are related to your topic. Okay, now let's look at the academic essay structure. What does an academic essay looks like? So first of all, we have to write our introduction. The introduction is the first thing that comes after you have made your planning, you did your brainstorming for ideas, and you made your outline. So you start by writing your introduction. This is a very important part, okay, to develop an organized and successful academic essay. So let's look together what comes in an introduction. So this introduction is very short. It counts about 10% of the whole essay. This is if you are writing a very short academic essay, like between 200 and 300 words. But if you are planning to write an extended essay that goes up to 1,000 to 1,500 words, this introduction could go longer than that. For example, it could count like third the amount of body paragraphs you are going to include in your academic writing. So first we will have to start with our topic sentence. This is the first thing that we will write in our introduction. So ask yourself these questions. What is your focus? What you are planning to write about? This should be very concise and very brief, because you are going to develop this idea or this focus later on during your writing. Also, try to think about what do you want to write in your academic writing. Is it something that you would like to convince someone about? Is it something that you have an argument that you would like to discuss? Or is it a kind of solutions that you are planning to provide for a major problem? So this is a very short sentence, so try to be precise and concise. The second thing, or the second part of your introduction, is the background. So try to think about what general information that are true about this topic. What is already known about your topic? And what you would like to share before you move on. The next part, which is very important, hello, can you hear me? I think I've lost connection here. Sorry for this technical issue.
Yes, we can hear you. You can just share a screen. Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So here we reached, I think, this part, the thesis statement. So these are some questions that might help you understand what to include in your thesis statement. So try to ask yourself, what do you want to convince someone about your topic? So if there's a claim or an argument that you already have or hold, and you want to convince others or other readers about your topic. Also, what is the major claim that you want to defend in your essay? For example, are you with or against, for example, an issue? What do you think about a certain issue? And we will see some examples in the following slides about these questions and their answers. Finally, it is the stand viewpoint that you want to take. So try to make sure that all these information are included in your thesis statement. And the last step to include in your introduction is called the roadmap of your ideas. So here you will draw the reader's attention to what evidence, and here we mean the ideas or reasons that you hold, or you would like to add? Okay. Are you trying to put that will support your claim? And your claim is your thesis statement. So try to put those ideas and reasons in just key information, very briefly, okay? Just to have your readers understand what you are going to discuss in the rest parts of your academic essay. So once we have completed our introduction, okay, it is easier for someone to identify what your focus, what is your topic, and what we already know, or what is already known about your topic, and what thesis statement or claim that you are trying to defend, and what are the main ideas or reasons that you are going to develop. Okay, so these roadmap ideas, okay, should be short sentences, okay? So you write a first idea that you will develop, okay, to establish your thesis, followed by roadmap idea 2. This is another short sentence about your second idea, and followed by roadmap idea 3, and also a short sentence about your third idea that you are going to develop to establish your thesis. So the number of roadmap ideas depends on how long are you planning to write your essay. Is it going to be a long one? The number of ideas, for example, that you are going to discuss. How many ideas do you plan to discuss, okay, to convince others about the claim that you want to defend? And each of those roadmap ideas will be developed and established in one single paragraph. So how many paragraphs are you going to write depends on the number of ideas you are planning to establish. Let's move on to the second part of our academic essay writing. So here comes the long portion of your academic writing, which we call the body or body paragraphs. So this counts for up to 80% of the whole essay. And as I have said, these numbers are just samples I am giving you just to understand that in an introduction, it should be very short. In the body, it goes, or it takes the longest part of your academic essay. And we will see also the conclusion, how it counts. So it could be up to 80%, 70%, but shouldn't be the same size as your introduction. And this also depends on the length of your academic writing or your academic essay. So normally, try not to write less than 2 paragraphs. Okay, so the very shortest essay that you could think of is only about 2 body paragraphs. If you are planning to go up, you can try 3, 4, 5, etc., depending on the length of your essay. And also, the number of paragraphs, as we have said in the introduction, depends on the number of ideas you are going to include in your writing, or you are going to include in your thesis. So paragraph number 1 will tackle your idea number 1. What you are going to write in each paragraph is the same. So here we start with our topic sentence, and in this topic sentence, you are going to include your first main point or your first main idea, followed by a background information. So sometimes you would like to elaborate more or tell the reader what is already known about this idea. Additionally, you are going to provide supporting evidence of your first idea okay? And try to ask yourself, what relevant evidence that support my first idea? How do I convince the reader that this idea is one of the most important, okay, to convince about your thesis statement that you already written in the introduction? So all these information ties back or links back to the thesis statement. Once you wrote your supporting evidence, this could be a fact, this could be an example, this could be something that explains, elaborates your main idea. Sometimes you have to explain your evidence, okay? If you think it is not clear or it might not be clear for the reader, you might add more information, more sentences, just to make sure that this idea is really understood. Okay, don't let your reader think or imagine what you are talking about. Now, imagine that all your readers aren't aware of your ideas. So try to be the reader when you try to write your points. So once you finished from writing your supporting evidence, number one, and explained your evidence, you might add the last sentence, which connects back to your thesis statement. Or sometimes it could be just a concluding sentence to wrap up your paragraph. Or sometimes it could be a transitional sentence that takes the reader to the next or the following paragraph. So try to ask yourself, how does your point, the point that you already written in your topic sentence, which your whole paragraph talks about, how does it support your thesis? Okay. Sometimes you might want to add more than one supporting evidence. So this depends on the length of your paragraph and also the amount of information that you think you have already created. Is it enough? Does this information convince and support what I am trying to reach or not? In the following other paragraphs, so paragraph number 2, 3, etc. So this depends on how many paragraphs are you planning to write. You will have to follow the same steps that you have already done for paragraph number 1. So we will write the topic sentence, and this will be a new idea for paragraph number 2, followed by background information, followed by your supporting evidence and explanation of your supporting evidence, and finally ending with a connection or a link to your thesis statement or a concluding idea. Okay. The last part of our academic writing essay will be the conclusion. And the conclusion is the same as your introductory paragraph. It is very short. It counts about 10% to 20%, depends on how long your academic essay is. Okay, and you are going to include only a summary of the 3 ideas or the number of ideas you just created, and restate your claim, which is your thesis statement. So just try to paraphrase what you have already mentioned in your introductory paragraph. Okay, and these are usually 3 sentences for a standard essay or a standard conclusion. So 1 sentence to summarize your main ideas, and the others to give recommendations sometimes for future practices, or even to give your opinion about the whole topic. So this is how our conclusion looks like. So now, as we have looked at our structure of an academic essay, we will go now to look at how our outline is going to look like. So here, this diagram or this outline that I've created, I usually use it with my students, and they are really finding it very useful for them. You might or might not use this same outline. You can find plenty of structures on the internet. Okay, just try to type in outline formats for academic essays, and you will find many kinds of outline formats. So as long as you feel comfortable and you find the type of outline useful for you, just go ahead and choose it. Okay. So your introduction will go like this. You will just write about these 4 points. Try to include a short brief or your topic sentence, what background information you are planning to write, what is your thesis statement, what is your claim or your argument that you would like to convince others about your topic, and finally try to end up with your roadmap sentence or statement which includes your outline ideas. After you finished outlining your introduction, go ahead and try to make an outline for your body paragraphs. And this depends on how many paragraphs are you planning to include. So here is the standard structure of an academic essay, which is an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. And this is called a 5 essay paragraph. So paragraph number 1 will have your first main idea, followed by these 5 points. So try to write brief notes about each point. For example, your main idea, just try to put your main idea in a keyword or a phrase. Don't write a long sentence. This should be very brief and very quick. Followed by your background, what you are going to write about your main idea, and what supporting evidences are you planning to include, how many supporting evidence, for example, 1, 2, 3. Each one should be followed by an explanation. And finally, try to put a short statement that ties back your paragraphs to the thesis statement. Okay, and each of the following paragraphs will have the same structure. Finally, you end up with your conclusion. Just write 1 sentence to restate what you are planning or what you have already planned to write. Okay, sometimes it's not important to add your conclusion at this stage. Okay, so I recommend that you keep it till the end. So always try to plan for your academic writing. Okay, the more time you spend planning, the best your essay will end up. Okay. So let's move on to our next part, which is organizing our academic writing. So how to organize our academic essay? First, you have to develop an organized paragraph or organized paragraphs. And each paragraph has a specific structure that you have to follow. So let's go ahead and find out what is an organized paragraph. Because if you are able to write an organized paragraph, you will be ending up with a very strong essay writing. So here you will have a group of sentences connected logically together about one main idea, as we have already mentioned. A good paragraph also has a group of sentences, like between 5 to 10 sentences, depending on how long you are planning to write. And also, the first sentence is normally called the topic sentence. And this is a general statement that introduces the paragraph's main idea. So always when you try to write your first sentence, try to put your main idea there. And these sentences are the first sentence followed by supporting evidence and details, okay, that elaborate on your main idea. And finally, you just end up with a concluding sentence or a link to your thesis statement. So this is another outline, okay, for your paragraphs. So you might have your main idea here, followed by your supporting evidences. So this depends on how many evidences you are planning to include, followed by an explanation, okay, supported with facts and examples of each of those supporting evidences. And finally, you end up with your concluding sentence. So let's look at an example here. Imagine that you are trying to write about traffic congestion in major cities. How are you going to find or make solutions to reduce traffic congestion in major cities? Here, I added some supporting details. So this is your main idea. This is what you are going to support. So first, bicycle lanes reduce traffic congestion. So by adding bicycle lanes, you think that this will reduce traffic congestion, followed by another supporting evidence, for example, encouraging people to use public transport. Okay, like for example, trains, buses, metro lines. Finally, this is our last supporting evidence, reduce trucks movement during peak hours. So this is one of your supporting evidences that you think might reduce the traffic congestion in major cities by reducing trucks movement during rush hours, during early morning and in the evening or the afternoon. So here we made an elaboration of each of our supporting details. So the first one we say is that it improves the overall movement of traffic during peak hours by implementing bicycle lanes. Also, this might save time and money spent on using automobiles. So people, instead of spending money on their cars, petrol, tires, maintenance, etc. So using public transport, okay, saves them time and money. Also, this might encourages workers to abandon using their cars during rush hours, which also will help in the reduction of traffic congestion. Finally, this is our last explanation of our supporting evidence number 3. So we say that reducing or even preventing trucks from entering or commuting in cities during work hours will also help in reducing the traffic congestion. And this is our final sentence, reducing traffic jams and therefore increases the life productivity of a city. Okay, so let's look at our paragraph. So this is our title, the reduction or reducing traffic congestion in major cities. This is my main idea. So this is my topic sentence. Important data suggests that traffic congestion reduces the productivity of city life. So my main idea here is that traffic congestion reduces the productivity of city life. This is followed by a background information, okay? And I've written that this is true because it was found that cities become busier with more traffic, and this affects workers from starting their work on time. Therefore, as a result, or as this is one of the results that could happen, is that some solutions might be implemented to help reducing traffic congestion during peak hours. So here I'm trying to, okay, outline the rest parts of my paragraphs by recommending some solutions that might help the reduction of traffic congestions. Here, I gave my first supporting evidence, which is my first solution. So to add or adding bike lanes that connect all the areas and districts in a city. So this is my first solution. Very short. So here we want to elaborate more to explain why do we think, or why do I think that adding bike lanes is very important, and it will help to solve this problem. So here I wrote, this allows workers to use their bikes from home to work. So wherever you are living in a city, you should be able to reach your work, okay, through these bike lanes. So this improves the overall movement of traffic during peak hours. So this is my explanation of my first supporting evidence. I also added another supporting evidence, which is my second solution that I recommended. A variety of public transport, such as trains, metro lines, and buses, reduce the number of cars driven by individuals. So instead of having every single individual traveling by his car to his work during peak hours, it is more wisely to add a variety of public transport that allows a group of people to travel to their work at the same time, which of course will help in reducing traffic congestions. So here I said, as I explained, having this different kinds of transport saves time and money spent on using automobiles, and thus encourages workers to abandon using their cars during rush hours. Then I added another supporting evidence or another solution. So here I wrote finally, because this is the final solution I'm writing in my paragraph. So trucks are seemingly the main cause of traffic jams in major cities. How? Reducing or even preventing trucks from entering or commuting in cities during work hours will definitely reduce traffic congestion. And as you can see, for example, in major cities where trucks are traveling over the highways and sometimes entering inside the cities, look how major problems we can encounter from those trucks. Finally, I ended my paragraph with a concluding sentence. So I just wrote, considering these solutions that I have wrote, number 1, 2, and 3, will help in reducing traffic jams in major cities. And look, I used another synonym of the word traffic congestion, which is traffic jams. So try to make a variety or add a variety of academic words like synonyms, okay, to make your writing more interesting. So these solutions will help in reducing traffic jams in major cities and therefore increase the life productivity. Okay, look how it ties back to my main idea that traffic jam reduces the life or the productivity of city life. Here, I proposed some of the solutions that I thought that could work in reduce traffic jams in major cities. And here is our final paragraph after we moved those hints. And this paragraph is about 160 words. Okay, it's a normal size of a paragraph if you are planning to write like 500 or 600 words. Okay. Now I will give you a practice here, okay, that I would like you to work on. So choose the best answer that best develops the following topic sentence. So here I gave you a topic sentence. Try to read it and find out the main idea, okay? So here, indoor pollution resources that release gases or particles into the air are primary cause of indoor air quality problems in homes. Okay, These are some information or sentences that I've added. Try to choose the best one that would develop your topic sentence. So this sentence should connect logically with your topic sentence. It should elaborate on the idea I have mentioned here. Okay, so go ahead, try to write in the chat box. Okay, what answer do you think fits this blank? Is it A, B, C, or D? I'll try to look at your answers. Okay, someone wrote C, A. Okay, probably we don't have Q. I think it's A. So it's between A and C. Try to read carefully, okay? Sometimes there are some words that might not have any relationship with our topic sentence. So try to read carefully before you choose your answer. I'll give you 2 more minutes to think. Okay, so most of you wrote A and just few others. Okay. Wrote B. Someone wrote D. I'll give you 1 more minute. Just let's give the others the chance to think. So as I have said, that your supporting ideas should connect directly to your topic sentence. So there should be a logical connection between the sentence you are choosing now and the topic sentence that is written. All right, so I'll show you the answer right now. So it is, let's go back. It is A. So let's read it again. Indoor pollution sources that release gases or particles into the air are the primary cause of indoor air quality problems in homes. Like, for example, air pollution. So the indoor pollution sources that release gases into the air are the primary cause of indoor air quality problems in home. And here we have inadequate ventilation. So the ventilation is the air that goes in and out of your home, like for example, using air conditioners, opening the windows, opening the doors to just recycle the air inside your home, can increase indoor pollutant levels by not bringing in enough outdoor air to dilute emissions from indoor sources. So having your home, okay, locked, okay, so if you don't open your windows, if you don't open the doors, or for example, if you don't have air conditions, this will cause a problem of having an indoor bad air quality problems. If we look at B, C, and D, for example, some physicians, there are no relationship between physics and air quality inside home. Believe that the dangers of environmental allergens are greatly exaggerated. So this is very far away from what we are proposing. Although there are more potential pollution sources today than ever before, okay, we have potential pollution sources. This is related. but let's look at the next sentence, the next part. Environmental activists are working hard to make our world safer place. There is no relationship between the second sentence here, the second part, environmental activists. We don't care what are they working on, but we only care about the problem inside our homes, okay, from having inadequate air quality or air ventilation that can increase indoor pollution. The last one, I'll choose a good one, a good old-fashioned log cabin any day to the kind of squeaky clean, hermetically sealed modern condos you find in the big American cities. This is very, very far away from what we have seen in our topic sentence, okay? So this is connecting very closely, and this would be our best choice. Another question here, I want you to choose the best topic sentence that best fits into the following paragraph. So here's a paragraph. Try to find which topic sentence that you think, okay, is best, describes, okay, or these information elaborated more on this kind of topic. So here we have many families have small children. Many medications are extremely dangerous if swallowed. If your children accidentally swallows a medicine, rush him or her to the hospital right away. Finally, new life-saving medication or medicines are being approved by the FDA every day. Try to read those sentences and try to find out what are they trying to develop. Which of those topic sentences do you think they are developing or they are connected to? And let me see your answers. So just try it. Which answer do you think fits the blank? So here we have 3 B's. Many medications are extremely dangerous, okay. And one of you wrote C, B, okay. So here it's important to take special precautions to keep these medications, okay, in a secure place. Why? Because a child, okay, might not reach them or where a child cannot get them. So the first sentence definitely, okay, explains which topic sentence are you trying to choose. All right, so I think it's enough. Let me show you the answer. So the answer is B, and most of you got this answer. Well done. So many medications are extremely dangerous if swallowed. It is important to take special precautions to keep these medications in a secure place where a child cannot get to them. Okay. Every item in the medicine cabinet should be labeled in large letters and attached to the container. Even if you believe the medicine cabinet is too high for a child to reach, it should be locked at all times. So from what we have, okay, inferred from these statements, we know that many medications are dangerous if swallowed by children. Okay, so here we are trying to give solutions, okay, or prevent parents from keeping their medications, okay, in the reach of their children. Okay, so here we are approaching toward the end of our presentation today, and I gave you just an example of an essay question that you might find even in your college, in IELTS exam, sometimes in TOEFL exam. So here is a prompt. Should public school students be required to wear uniforms? These uniforms are the kind of clothes that all students wear. Okay, it should be the same. So here supporters argue that, among other things, uniforms improve discipline and build a strong sense of community and identity. Okay, so those people who support or who argues that public schools should emphasize on students to wear uniforms. These are their ideas or what they think, okay, is true from having public schools students wear the same uniform. But on the other side, okay, opponents believe that uniforms limit students' freedom of expression and their development as individuals. So here we have two opposite point of views. Okay, we have the supporters of this, okay, claim. So this is a claim. And those are the opponents, the disbelievers, those who have a counter argument, okay, about wearing uniforms. The question of your essay writing will be to write an essay in which you take a position. So you have to take a standpoint on whether or not public school students should be required to wear uniforms to school. So this is the argument that you would like to stand either whether to stand with or against, okay, wearing uniforms in public schools. So here be sure to support your position with logical arguments and specific examples. So once you start to plan to write about this essay, the first thing that I've told you is to plan, is to make an outline, okay? And as you make your outline, try to study these questions very carefully. Sometimes students might just look at some keywords at the beginning, like for example, wearing uniform and public schools, and they very quickly, okay, move to just start writing their academic essay, okay? Sometimes they ignore what is, okay, required from them. So here, try to spend as much as you can, okay, analyzing, reading, okay, try to find keywords, underline them, try to write synonyms, okay? If you don't understand a keyword, it's okay, it's fine, but try to make sure that you got the whole context of the essay question. Okay, this will help you, okay, to write a well-organized essay. So this is our outline. So you can just write keywords here like introduction. So the introduction will start with your topic sentence, and your topic sentence will be, okay, similar to this one. So debate, it's a debate between supporters and opponents of school uniforms. You might also write keywords or other synonyms, like for example, this is a debate between people who think that uniforms are better than having no rules, for example, when wearing clothes. Okay, so here, write your background. What did supporters believe and what did opponents believe about school uniforms? This is a very short sentence. Write your thesis statement, okay? Whether you stand with or against, okay, public schools rules for emphasizing school uniforms. And finally, just write your roadmap, your outline, and what main ideas are you going to include if you are with or against, okay, this topic. Okay, finally, move on to your paragraphs. So first of all, I have written a main idea here. For example, I'm with my think that uniforms are very important, okay, to be emphasized in public schools because it provides better education for students, okay? So here I will prove why do I think that uniforms provide better education. So we will just write our supporting evidence in just keywords or phrases. Then I will explain that in my writing, followed by a link to your thesis statement. The second paragraph will be discussing my second main idea, which is equality. So people from different, for example, socioeconomic status. So we have poor students, middle-class students, and sometimes upper-class students. They are all different, okay? So emphasizing students to wear a uniform make all students equal, okay? There is no good students and bad students, no poor students and rich students. All are at the same level, okay? Then I go ahead and prove why did I choose equality as my supporting evidence. I made some explanations, and then finally I end with a link to my thesis statements. The third point that I included is that uniforms at public schools improve discipline, okay? So this makes students more disciplined, okay, if they chose to wear a single uniform. Finally, I end up with my short conclusion, which is just a restating or a summary of the main points that I have mentioned in the paragraphs and just restating my claim or my thesis statement. So let's look at our introduction, how it will look like. So here we have a topic sentence. I've written that the debate of whether public schools should emphasize students to wear a uniform has 2 points of views. This is my topic sentence. So here we have uniforms is my main idea, okay? And this is the sentence that opens, okay, the road to my essay, followed by a background information. So this was taken from the prompt that you saw in the essay. I just paraphrase it a little bit. So some agrees with the idea of requiring public school students to wear uniforms, even though this may seem to contradict the ideal of democracy upon which our public school system is based. So here are 2 points of views. The first one agrees with, and the second one disagrees with this issue. Followed by my thesis statement. Look how short it is. In fact, uniforms would help schools. Okay, so I'm with uniforms in public schools. Why? This is my roadmap of ideas. So uniforms would help schools provide a better education. This is my first idea. To all students by eliminating socioeconomic differences. So this is what makes students, all of them, equal. And finally, it improves discipline among students. So these are my key ideas that I'm going to discuss, which supports the standpoint I took, okay, toward this issue. So I'm with those people who says that uniforms are very important in public schools. And these are the ideas that will support my thesis. Okay, so I will start with my first paragraph by discussing this first idea, followed by my second paragraph to discuss the second idea, and finally, the third paragraph to discuss how public school uniforms improve discipline among students. My first body paragraph will look like this. This is my main point idea number 1. So style is one of the major issues that concern students these days and affect their education. So it influences their education. How? How does it influence education? This is my supporting evidence. This is true especially among teenagers who are trying to figure out and understand themselves. So as we can see that most of those students in their middle age they are trying to show off, okay, their styles, that they can buy new and modern clothes, high quality brand clothes, etc., which keeps them away from their actual learning, okay, at school. I'm explaining this evidence. So I gave an example. For instance, in many schools today, this becomes a major distraction or even an obsession among students about what to wear. Okay, so I explained this supporting evidence. Followed by another supporting evidence. I said that many students today are too busy to study. So they have other distractions which keeps them away from their learning. So here I said that they are working after school so they can afford the latest fashion. So you can see some students, they have works, okay, to earn money. Why they earn money? To get or to buy the latest fashions, okay, in the market. So here I ended my paragraph by linking back a sentence to my thesis statement in the introduction. If students were required to wear uniforms, they would have less pressure to be best dressed and thus devote more time to their studies. So this gives an idea that what I have already, okay, written and convinced here, this really ties back to my thesis statement and supported. So students will have less pressure to be best dressed and also to devote more time to their education. The second, okay, this is my second paragraph, but here is a final look of the first body paragraph. Okay, look at the first topic sentence followed by supporting details and a concluding sentence. The second body paragraph looks like this. I'm discussing here my second main point or main idea. So I wrote more importantly, so here is a transitional phrase, okay? I'm emphasizing or insisting on something, that students from lower income families, from poor families, are influenced by the competition over who has the most fashionable clothes. So this is actually, okay, cause those students from lower income families, okay, to compete or to find out ways in order to follow their counterparts or their colleagues who are trying to look, okay, different by the clothes they are wearing. And this really is not a good way, okay? So here I'm saying that, therefore, for this reason, this results in a devastation, okay, to the self-esteem of those poor students. And I'm explaining my supporting idea. So the result will be devastation, okay, to the self-esteem of those poor students. So they will be influenced, okay, when they are not having the amount of money to afford, okay, these types of fashionable clothes. Supporting evidence too, additionally, because uniforms require everyone to wear the same outfits, students from poorer families will not face the kind of teasing they often get from students who can afford quality brands. Okay, so they will not feel, okay, behind, okay, when we look at those students from one angle, okay, those poor students will not feel behind, they will feel in the similar, okay, situation as their student, as their colleagues in their school. Here I'm linking my final sentence to my thesis statement. So I wrote, although students from wealthier families may wear nicer shoes and accessories, the uniforms will create an atmosphere of equality for all students. So this makes all students equal, okay, when are they wearing uniforms. And my second paragraph looks like this. Let's move on to the third body paragraph. So I'm discussing here the main point, which is uniforms, okay? The opponent people, what did they argue about? That uniforms will not create uniformity. So in contrast to what opponents argue, uniforms will not create uniformity. So here I would say that just because students are dressed the same doesn't mean they will not be able to develop as individuals, okay? So the type of clothes students wear is not the sign, okay, of how to be at school or outside of school. So the amount of education they get is what is better and what creates, okay, good individuals. So here I say that, in fact, so here I'm just explaining my supporting evidence that uniforms enable students to stop worrying about their appearance, okay, and thus can focus more on knowing themselves internally. So they focus on building their own character, okay, and more importantly, on their classroom learning. So there are no distractions anymore if they are wearing the same uniforms. So I'm here, okay, arguing with those who say that uniforms will not create uniformity. Another supporting evidence, I wrote that uniforms will improve discipline in the schools. So look how I started my second supporting evidence with a connection word, furthermore, which means additionally, these will improve discipline in the school. How is it going to improve discipline? So here I say, whenever a group of people dresses alike, they automatically have a sense of community and a sense of common purpose. So school uniforms will constantly remind students that they are indeed in a school to learn. So they are not competing only for who dresses the best, but who learns the best, okay? This would be the main focus that we are trying to bring by allowing uniforms inside schools. And my final sentence is, getting dressed for school itself will be a form of discipline that students will carry into the classroom. So these supporting evidences I chose to put, okay, improves or supports the evidence that I have already mentioned and my thesis statement that getting dressed for school, okay, will be a form of discipline. So this improves the students' discipline at school. And here is how my third paragraph looks like. And as you can see, okay, every single sentence is connected logically, okay, to build my paragraph. And all the ideas should be related to my topic sentence, okay? All right, so this is my final conclusion, and look how short it is. So, though many students will complain, so we have seen in those schools where uniforms are emphasized that students don't like to, okay, obey the school rules, and they chose to transfer to another school just to be free to wear whatever they like. So requiring public school students to wear uniforms makes sense. Students will learn more about themselves and about the world around them. So I just restated and summarized my thesis statement. Okay, this is the opponent view, the counterpart of the argument, and this is the thesis statement that I'm carrying, or the claim that I have chose, okay, to go with or to write about and support. And finally, these are just a summary of my key points or key ideas, okay, that supports my thesis statement. Okay, this is the end of my essay. And here is some information that I would like you to consider, okay, when you're writing an academic essay. So try to write an introduction with the topic, sentence, background information, and thesis statement. Try to remember to write body paragraphs, and this depends on how many key ideas or points you are planning to write to support your thesis statement, followed by or ending with a conclusion. And this is a short summary of the main points of your body paragraphs. For example, if there are 3 or 4 or whatever, plus your opinion if you are asked to write your opinion. Also try to remember to focus and pay attention to grammar and mechanics, like for example, subject-verb agreement, tenses, word order. So here we have subject, verb, object, plus adjectives, plus adverbs. Okay, this is the standard structure of an English sentence. And sometimes you might add conditional sentences. Try to learn how to use them correctly. Capital letters at the beginning of each sentence, okay, and at the beginning of names, proper nouns, etc. And also try to pay attention to the punctuation and your spelling. And this part comes at the end. So we just start with a first draft of our writing. We don't want to pay attention in our grammar and mechanics. Later on your second draft, try to edit your writing, okay, and focus on those key points. And sometimes it's wisely to have someone who is expert to read or to have a second eye on your writing, just to make sure that you are, okay, writing a very clean, okay, essay. Also can provide you with some recommendations on how to improve, okay? And finally, try to make sure that your essay is connected and linked logically together, starting with your introduction, moving through your body paragraphs, and ending with your conclusion. So try to use transitional phrases, linking words, like for example, first, then, next, finally, also, however, for example, just to connect those parts of your sentences together. Okay, this is a practice that I want you to work on. Okay, recently American students are said to have fallen behind the sciences, okay, the science subject. And some educators believe it is because American teachers are conducting science classes ineffectively. So this is because of science teachers. They are not providing or delivering their classes in a good way. So the question is, write an essay in which you suggest ways science classes could be conducted so as to more effectively challenge high school and college students. Okay, so here our topic sentence will be that there are two counter arguments, or that American students, why do you think they are left behind? Some people say that it's because of American teachers. They are not conducting their classes in a proper way. Okay, so here you are just planning to provide solutions like the solutions that you have seen when we propose to reduce traffic congestion. So you just add 3 or 4 key points or ideas that you think will effectively, okay, help students to improve in their science. This is an essay Okay, this is a similar, okay, essay that answers the question, but this essay isn't organized. So here I want you to identify the introduction, body paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and the conclusion. Try to think which one, okay, or which one of those headings fits into these blanks. So where is our introduction? Where is our conclusion? And where is our body paragraphs? Okay, so here we might have only 2 body paragraphs, so you might not use paragraph 3. So just try to read the first sentence of each of those paragraphs, okay, and you will get an idea about which part each paragraph is. So you might just write number 1, 2, 3, 4. If you think that 1 is introduction, 2 body paragraph 1, 3 body paragraph 2, and 4 is the conclusion, it's fine to write, okay, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, whatever order you think. Okay, you might write like this. For example, okay, just to make it simple for you. So try to remember that in an introduction, there are 3 parts: topic sentence, okay, a thesis statement, and an outline. Body paragraphs are normally longer than your introduction and your conclusion, okay, and they include more details about the main ideas. Okay. Pre is the conclusion. This approach to teach science should begin, okay. Good try. 4213. 2143. I'll give you 1 more minute. Okay, so try to focus on the first sentence of each of those paragraphs. So when we look at the last paragraph here, we have another example. So this transitional word, okay, gives us a clue about which part of this essay this paragraph is. This approach, so this should, okay, comes after a paragraph. So this couldn't be the introduction. We cannot start an introduction by saying this approach. So we still haven't discussed any approach yet. The best way for teachers, this could be an introduction. The following examples could be used. So here I'm discussing examples. So this could be one of the body paragraphs. Okay, so let's look at the answer. So this is our introduction. The best way for teachers to boost their student science test scores is to make students excited by science with real life examples. So here is my topic sentence. Before ever asking, okay, students to memorize facts, the teacher should demonstrate a scientific process or even teach students how to experiment for themselves. This allows them to understand the process with their senses before trying to fix it in their intellect. So here I gave some solutions that science teacher might focus on to improve their students, okay, level in science in overall, yes. And I gave the outline of what ideas I'm going to write. And this is my first body paragraph. So here, the following examples could be used to provide anticipation of a lesson to come. So first, okay, I gave some information. Okay. If possible, it would be even better to take them on a field trip. This is another solution, okay? And my second body paragraph is this one, another example. So this is the first one. This is the second one, okay? Another example is to let students have hands-on experience with telescopes. So telescopes, okay, is one of the most interesting, okay, tools to use in your science class, okay? And this is my conclusion. This approach, so the approach that I have already proposed in paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, hopefully, okay, will help high school students or colleges, okay, to be improved in science. So scientific facts are important, of course, but without them, without these, okay, approaches, we have no real understanding. So curiosity is vital to learning, as the ability to memorize, etc., etc. Curiosity will keep students learning long after they have passed their final test in school. Okay, this is my end of the presentation of the workshop. I hope that you have learned something that will help you improve your academic writing. I hope that you have rethought about the main problems or technical issues that you used to have when writing your academic essay, okay? And that you have learned new technical things or new strategies that will help you improve in your academic writing. And as I can recommend you is to practice more, okay? Because practice always makes perfect. Sorry. And try always to have your writings, okay, be edited by an expert, someone who you think is good at English writing, okay? If you didn't have a feedback from someone expert, you will never improve, okay? So this is one of the recommendations that I'd like to give. So this is your turn. If you have any questions, I'm ready to help.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Yahya, for this wonderful, well-structured and as-is presentation and workshop. We really enjoyed it, and we learned a lot about how to organize an academic essay and how to write an academic essay. So let's see now if you have any questions. If anyone has any question, please raise your hand or write in the chat. I'm gonna post right now the links for our YouTube channel and for the evaluation form. I need you to complete this evaluation form, please. And also, we will not have a workshop this Wednesday. You will receive an email about this. We schedule Wednesday's workshop to next week, inshallah, Sunday, at the same time, 8:05. And here is the link. I'm going to share it with you. And we have a question here from Manar Al-Harbi. She's asking if I had 3 main ideas, one for each paragraph, but one paragraph is much longer than the other. The others, should I keep it as it or separate it into 2 paragraphs?
Okay, this is a very wonderful question. The length of your paragraphs depends on the length of your whole essay. Sometimes I want to write more information on one key point. For example, your idea, okay, requires additional information to make it clear, okay? You have to write more examples, you have to explain more. So if you think that you are adding too much and you are making your paragraph like twice the size as your rest paragraphs, try to, okay, split it into two, okay, single paragraphs. But when you try to cut your paragraph, this long one, into two pieces, okay, try to make sure to use a connection word or a transitional phrase, okay, that makes those two paragraphs looks like a one, okay? So this depends on what you are going to add as your key, for example, your transitional phrase or your linking word, okay? This will make it looks the same. As you can notice in our previous example here, let me just show it to you, okay? Look at this, for example, another example. So we might start with a first example in your body paragraph, okay? And you thought it is very long. So you might split it into two paragraphs and write a good keyword that connects these two paragraphs, okay, with each other.
Thank you. We have another question here from Afnan. Any suggestions about websites to develop the academic writing?
Yes, I have a website here from Cambridge University. Let me just try to find it.
Okay.
Which I found very, very, very excellent, and I always recommend it to my students. Okay. This really helps them improve their academic writing. I hope that I can find it very quickly. Just a moment. Can you give me the second question until I find this? Let's move to the next question until I can find you the link. Dr. Bassem?
Yes, I guess I just saw a hand there, but let's wait for more questions. Please, if you have any more questions, you can write in the chat or raise your hand. Badriya here is asking about certificate. Inshallah, certificate will be issued at the end of this semester. We will be issuing certificates for each series. So if you attend 80% of the workshops in, let's say, the first series, so you'll get a certificate for that series, certificate for series number 1. There will be no certificates for each workshop. We'll go by series this semester. How many series? There are 4 series, 3 for undergrad, for all, I mean, but the last series is dedicated for graduate students. Undergrad are welcome to attend, but this series, I mean, the last series is dedicated and it's only for graduate students because it's very advanced and it's not gonna add much to undergraduate students, but they are welcome to attend.
I think I found it. Just let me.
From Afnan, yes, inshallah, the workshops will be there in the certificate.
I remember that I have posted it once on my Twitter account, but if they can wait, I will post it on the ELI academic account on Twitter. Okay, I'll try to post it again.
I have it here. I'm gonna post it now.
Okay, just post the account. Okay.
Here it is. Writeandimprove.com.
Excellent, very good. This is the one that I'm talking
Yes,
about.
this is the website.
This is a very excellent website. Okay, there are some videos, okay, that shows you how to start. It is for all different levels of writers. Okay, if you are beginner or if you are advanced. Okay, it gives you step-by-step techniques and strategies on how to start writing sentences, moving, okay, all the way to extended paragraphs and essays. So this is a very excellent website.
Okay, we have a question from Bandar. Go
Okay.
ahead, Bandar.
Yes, Dr. Basim, hi. Thank you for the informative presentation, Mr. Yahya. I have two questions for you, Mr. Yahya and Dr. Basim. The first one, Mr. Yahya, could you please share the slides for us? It's really informative and beneficial for us.
We are having a YouTube account that Dr. Basim is going to.
That's my second question for Dr. Basim about the registered or the recorded workshop. Is it available on the YouTube channels or even in the website of the center, the writing center?
Yeah. All the workshops are available online now. Even this one, inshallah, we will post it. Yeah, we will post it tonight, inshallah, or roughly tomorrow. But all the workshops, the past workshops, are available. You can
just subscribe.
Share the link, subscribe to receive notifications of any new videos, and inshallah, in the coming weeks, we will have short videos about certain issues and certain aspects in academic writing. Okay, I'm gonna repost again the links here. Here is the link for our YouTube channel.
So I'm just going to give some notes about the writing website, Write and Improve. First, you have to create an account for you to register, okay? And then you can start enjoy all the options that are provided by the website to help you, okay, practice your academic writing. So choose the level you want to start with, okay, and it will give you questions to write about, okay, and it allows you a number of words, for example, 10 words, 20 words, 30, so it goes up as your language improves. And also, once you submit your answer, it gives you a feedback. So it tells you what you are trying or what skills that you need to improve on, okay? And also suggest some strategies that will help you to improve.
All right, so any more questions? All right, so I think it's time now to end our lovely workshops. So thank you all. Thank you for attending this wonderful presentation. And we hope to see you next week, inshallah. And you have happy Saudi National Day in 2 days, inshallah. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Basim, for hosting this wonderful workshop. And we hope to see more and more participants, inshallah, on the following workshops. And the place is yours. Whenever you need any support, any help, we are all here to provide support.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you inshallah next week.
Thank you so much. And have a good night, everyone.